Hi, my name is Anita Dixon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Wyoming, Minnesota. Thank you for joining me. I am excited to share with you some new product that I have been working with. I made these beautiful cards with a new bundle called Enduring Beauty. It can be found in the January to April 2024 mini catalog on pages 38 and 39. You can also find the bundle in my online store at www.anitadixon.stampinup.net. The bundle consists of a stamp set called Enduring Beauty. It has a large floral image, several greetings, and a couple of smaller stamps. To coordinate with the stamp set is a set of dies. The larger die, of course, die cuts the large floral image, making it quick and easy. There are some standalone dies, and there is another die that can be used to die cut the greetings. My favorite part of this bundle are the masks. These masks make it quick, easy, and fun to color the floral images. Now you can see these two cards are a little bit different. This card here, I stamped the image first, and then using the masks, I colored them in. On this card, I used only the masks. So today I want to focus on how to use the masks. Let's put this aside. And then once I'm done showing you how to use the masks, I have a few more cards to show you that I made with this beautiful bundle. I'm going to start with a piece of scratch paper and tape that down so it stays in place. And I am using the Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. I got this through Amazon. And then I'm going to start with a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inch of our basic white cardstock. I want to tape this down also because I don't want it to move. I'm going to put the tape in the corners where I will not be coloring. The masks are numbered 1 through 5. Number 1 and number 3 are used to color the flowers. Number 2 and 4 are coloring the leaves, and number 5 is for the center of the flowers. Now you'll notice that there is a little notch in the corner up here. That helps us to know that this is the top of the mask. The numbers also will help us so that we know that this is the top of the mask and not the back side. So I'm going to start with number 1, and I'm going to center my flowers on here. I can see right through it. And I am going to take some tape again, and I'm going to put a couple pieces on the side here. And now I'm going to do one more step, and I am going to put some pencil marks on the 4 corners, like this, so that when I want to lay the other masks down, I can use these as a guide to help me. It makes it quicker and easier. I'm going to color this card with Calypso Coral for the flowers. And there we go. Okay, let's straighten this out again. Tape that back down. And I'm going to use one of our blending brushes. I am using the smaller one because the area is a little bit large. And then I'm going to tap off so that I don't have quite so much of the ink. I'm going to want to start with a lighter color. I can always add more ink. So this is the base of the flower. There we go. I'm going to take off, just lift up my mask. I can see what it looks like. Yes, I want a lighter color, so I'm going to lift this off and put this aside. Next, I'm going to start with number 3. That's the outline of the flower, or the, there we go. I'm lining it up again with the 4 corners. That will help. And then I'm going to tape this one down as well. And I'm going to use the same color, Calypso Coral. I like the tone on tone. I know that it matches really well. I could use another color that coordinates with it, and that would give me a totally different look. But to make this go a little bit faster, I'm going to use just one color. Now you have to be a little bit careful because you can see the mask, there are some smaller pieces that are sticking up. I'll go in that direction. And if my flower has lighter and darker colors, that's okay. Let's remove that and take a look to see how it looks. I'd like it to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to add a little bit more color to it. Just like that. Okay, let's lift that up. So that looks, that's nice. It could be a little bit darker, but I like it anyway. It's kind of a soft look. Okay, now I'm going to close up my Calypso Coral so that I don't accidentally use the wrong color. And I'm going to do the leaves with Granny Apple Green. And this time, I'm going to use one of our daubers because the area is small. I'm lining up my corners again. And I can see that the flowers are all covered. I'm going to use my tape again to hold this down. And using the dauber, I'm going to tap off and color this in. I find that the daubers give me a much darker color than the blends. And maybe I'm using a harder hand when I'm doing the daubers. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm going to do a light color. And you can see because there was more ink on my dauber, that leaf got darker. But I can always add more color to the other leaves to make them darker as well. Okay, so let's lift this up to see what we think. And that's really pretty. Let's put that aside. Now we've got number 4. And I'm lining up my 4 corners again. I'm lining up the leaves. Push that down. Use my dauber again. And again, I could use another color ink, but I'm choosing to use the same color. And I like to go in circles, but if I want to get all of the spaces, sometimes you have to go in other directions. This will really make those leaves pop. Okay, so let's take a look at that and see what we think. I think I could add a little bit more green. Oops, it moved. Let's make sure we get that taped on. There we go. Okay, so let's add a little bit more. Oh, I need to get moved a little bit there. Okay. Those leaves just a little bit darker. Okay. I like that. That's really pretty. Okay, our last one is number 5. And this is going to be the center of the flowers. That will really kind of finish off the flowers. Lining up the 4 corners again as best I can. And for this, I think I'm going to use pecan pie. And I'm going to use the daubers again because they are a small area. You need a color that is going to cover up the other colors underneath. So if your flowers are a deep color, you might want to use like Memento Black or something that is darker that will cover them up. You're almost finished. A couple more left here. That will really make the flowers pop. Okay, let's close up the ink pad so we don't accidentally put our fingers in it. And removing the mask. Voila. Isn't that beautiful? Now this card is ready to be die cut and mount it onto a card base. Or it could be mounted just like this because we cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. Now, if I were to do the other card, which uses the stamp, I would ink up my stamp. I could use Memento Black, which is what I did on this card here. And I have it mounted onto clear block number F. I would ink up my stamp. And then because it is a photopolymer stamp, I want to make sure I use my foam pad. And I would use another piece of white cardstock, and I would ink it up. I have one set aside that I've already stamped to save time. And I would color this one in similar to the other one. I would tape my paper down. And then I would use number 1 again. Only this time, you see I have the image to help guide the mask. Do like this. And what I like to do is to tape this down. And then I like to make the pencil marks on the corners also. It just makes it go faster and quicker. And I would color this in the same way as I did this one here. However, because the stamp has the black stamens inside of the flower, I don't need that mask number 5. So you're ready to see some additional cards that I've made? I found that coloring these with the masks made it so much fun that I couldn't stop making cards. So I'm going to put this aside, make room to show you the cards. So this one here, you've already seen. I stamped it with the black, Memento Black ink and colored it in with 2 different colors. I used, let me check my cheat sheet here. I used Lemon Lolly for the flowers and Daffodil Delight for the inside, or for the shading part, and Granny Apple Green for the leaves. This card here, I used Calypso Coral and Pecan Pie, and of course Granny Apple Green again for the leaves. And I used the Iridescent Rhinestones, Basic Jewels, as an accent. I'm not quite sure what this fold is called, but I thought it was really fun to make. I have a few more cards to show you. Here I used vellum for my background. And the colors on this card are Melon Mambo, Granny Apple Green, and Memento Black for the ink. And I used some of our layered Florals 3D embossing folder for the vellum, and the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels again to accent the flowers, and white iridescent ribbon across the front. Now here I turned the card the other direction. I'm using the same embossing folder, but this time on white. And the colors that I used on this one are Highland Heather and Lost Lagoon for the leaves. Again, the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels and the Layered Florals embossing folder. The script here is called Sweetly Scripted. It's an online exclusive that has just come out. Here's another card that I made using just the masks to color it in. Then I used the stamp and I inked it up with the Versamark ink and white embossing powder. It made the flower image pop, and I really liked that look. On this card here, I used Tahitian Tide for the flowers, at Granny Apple Green for the leaves, the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels again, and one of the basic 3D embossing folders for the background. This card, I was inspired by Andrea of Valley Inspirations. I believe she's an Australian demonstrator, but I'm not positive. I used Bubble Bath and Berry Burst for the flowers, Old Olive for the leaves, and Gray Granite for the greeting. And then I added some white twine from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. I have one more item to show you, and this is a treat bag that I made. I just used the masks to color the image onto a piece of cardstock, and then I made it into a gift bag. Now I thought it needed something, so I used our Everyday Detail dies to create a decorative edge on it and added some ribbon to it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my station. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot and have a great stamping day.